It's the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Phil Thompson.
And I'm Steve Lacy.
Episode 335.
All right.
Yeah, I'm keeping
on top
score.
of things.
I'm on top of things. 335. Does anybody make an engine cubic inch 335?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I saw a Camaro, the old 69 Camaro had a 302. I forgot about the 302.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that.
4-inch bore, 3-inch stroke.
There you go. Ford had a 304, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. I know the 4-inch bore is right. I'm pretty sure it's 3-inch stroke.
Wow.
It was a real big bore and small stroke, high revving thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked with a guy who had one that's probably retired on it now, if he still has it. Yeah, he didn't drive it much.
All right. So now that we've alienated probably 98% of our viewers and listeners. Hey, my wife was looking at last week's podcast with Miss Tompkins. Was it Barbara Tompkins? Sorry, I can't remember her name. I remember it was Tompkins, and I thought I know Barbara Tompkins, but we were talking about the refugees, and
yes,
my wife was casting it, because she got on to the streamingchurch.tv deal, and she actually watched the video, casting it from her phone to the TV. And I walked by and I looked at it and I saw me, of course, me and you and Mrs. Tompkins, and I looked like I had a bad sunburn. Do I look that way all the time?
Oh no, let me look again. Nope, not at all.
I changed the lighting a little bit. But
I know that I stood in front of my wife just yesterday and we were comparing tans.
Yeah.
And it's no comparison. It was kind of a joke because
she's got spray on tan.
She does the spray on tan. And I have nothing. So my dermatologist would be very proud of me.
Exactly. All right. So now that we've eliminated everybody from listening to this podcast, today we're going to talk about 8 ways to grow your church in the summer. Now, we've just gone through Easter, and we're in springtime, although here in Tucson, another thing that will alienate some people, we just had 100 degrees yesterday in Tucson.
What?
Yep, 100 degrees.
We didn't.
Yep, we did. We broke the ice. So there's a TV, there's a news channel here, Channel 4, in Tucson here that does a break the ice contest. And it's going on for years. You've heard of the break the ice.
Oh, I've heard the break the ice, but
yeah,
it was only like 91 yesterday.
Yeah, it was 100 degrees in the Tucson International Airport.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, they broke the record. So
actually,
it's one of the earliest times to break the record.
Yeah.
One of the earliest here in Tucson. So
all right.
And just in case you're wondering, people listening, what do you mean break the ice? Well, we have a river here in Tucson called the Santa Cruz River, which does have a little bit of water in it, because I think they're putting water in it now. But it's kind of a joke because the Santa Cruz rarely has water unless there's monsoon season, right? And so they had to break the ice on the Santa Cruz. It started years ago. I think it started with Michael Goodrich or somebody. But anyhow, so even though it's springtime when we're recording this, and at 100 degrees yesterday, although Steve will disagree, it was 100 degrees. We're heading towards summer, and there's always this feeling of, well, it's going to be summer, and we're just going to have to go into maintenance mode and hang in there as a church and try to get through the summer, and then hopefully things will pick up in the fall. So we have 8 ways that you can grow your church during the summer.
Yes, you were telling me before we started recording that you believe you can grow the church in the summer, and you get a lot of pushback.
Well, I've gotten pushback over the years because people say, no, you can't. Summer, everybody shuts down, people go on vacation, everybody. And that's true. A lot of people go into this mode, including leaders, church leaders, of like, I got to worry about anything. But you can actually grow your church. I did it. Proof in Kansas when I started a church in Kansas. We grew in the summer, and we grew several times in the summer, several years in the summer. But if you don't put anything into it, then you're not getting anything out of it. It's usually not going to automatically happen. So I believe there's ways to grow your church in summer. And I'm not saying you work your tail off year round. I mean, I understand there's times for breaks and you want to take vacation and you need to do that, especially if you're a pastor, you need to take vacations, but you can still grow your church in the summer.
Yes. And so you've got the 8 ways to grow your church in the summer.
Yeah. So let's just jump into it, shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Number 1, continue online streaming.
Continue online streaming. Now, you knew we were going to say this because we do streaming video here. That's one of our main deals. But you really should continue online streaming because, everybody was doing it during the pandemic. By the way, I think we're officially out of the pandemic, according to Dr. Fauci, even though there's still cases going on here in the United States. But churches are finding out that it's still important to do streaming video. Even if you're out of the pandemic and you're meeting in places and all that stuff, there are still people that the pandemic has changed everything, as we've talked about before. And there's going to be people that don't necessarily want to come all the time for different reasons, maybe health reasons, maybe other reasons. And so it's still good to have online streaming going on during the summer.
As I've said before, I think people's attitude towards work has changed. I know all my kids and in-law kids are all about working remote now, that they can. And so doing church remote is another opportunity for them to participate in the church but not have to get all dressed up or whatever it may be. I know at my home, it's a lot of times it's just laziness to a certain degree, let's just go online. So, it provides another opportunity for to participate in the service and not miss out on the church service.
It gets it out there, and if you archive your live streaming and put it on your website, we have a video vault, an on-demand video vault that we give our customers. That also gets it out there, and people can see it. And it's summertime, and there are people on vacation and going places, so they can still be a part of things if you're streaming online. So really need to keep it up. You might want to change it up a little bit, but you can definitely, streaming is still here to stay and you should still keep doing it.
Yes. So number 2 on our list here is identify your community needs.
Yeah. And by the way, before we jump onto this, I was talking to somebody today on the phone, and we're probably going to do another podcast on how to promote your live stream, because you need to be promoting your live stream all the time, but we'll get into that later. So, but moving on to number 2, yes, identify your community needs. So, it's church does not exist just for you and your members. It should exist for your community. And I mean community, the people outside the walls of your church and your city and your town. And so, keep your ear to the ground, so to speak, and what's going on in your community. What is it that your church can help and be involved in?
Yes, I know I may be on the receiving end of an ad campaign, but I'm getting lots of stories of churches, actually very small churches, putting together community events and marketing them across Facebook. So they're taking out ads for Facebook, and they're doing things, they're not saying, come to church. They're saying, we're having a trunk or treat at our church, or we're doing whatever it may be, free fitness classes, free, yoga classes, whatever it may be. They're in tune with what the community needs. And it's bridge building activities that people may not be willing to come to church directly from that, but they'll go and participate in a family event that the church is sponsoring.
Yeah, and I think it's important, as you mentioned, is you want to do these to help your community in certain ways, help the people in your community, and evangelism is always an important thing. I actually just wrote an article that will be out on our blog. And by the way, these notes that we're talking about today are on the blog.streamingchurch.tv. But it's important that you're out to help people, not just try to convert them. Okay. You okay there? Looks like you're having some trouble there.
I have
right.
to, yeah, I got to take a minor little break.
We have to take a break. You mean I have to stop this thing?
No,
Oh,
we're good.
okay.
We can
All right.
continue on.
All right.
I
I don't
think
know
we're
what you're
good.
doing there, but it's kind of.
I'm getting paged.
Oh,
So
well, are we okay? Is everything, all the servers still running?
I think so.
Okay. All right. All right. So while Steve takes care of his text, let's move on to number 3. So number 2 was identify your community needs. Number 3 is become more social media savvy. That's kind of a mouthful there. Now, look, we beat this horse. Is that really politically correct? We beat this dead horse. But the truth is, you've got to be out there in social media, and it's not just posting when your services are. It's not just posting, the newsletter. It's actually putting some stuff out there to interact with people. Maybe a question, maybe questions. Hey, summer's coming up. What are you doing for your summer? And get some interaction in your social media. Get involved in social media, and you'll. This is another key to staying connected with people.
Yeah. And I learned a tip from a guy that talked about if you're at 0 or near 0 with your social media presence, and you start, just posting to the open abyss without any followers or anything, it's not the recommended route to go.
Right.
His recommendations was find an area where you have interest and knowledge and begin commenting. And participate in an existing community that's already out there and already thriving. And the more you participate, you'll get respected more as a leader in that particular area, and then you'll attract followers, and it'll start the ball rolling. But it's tough to just go out and start posting things out to the abyss. But the better way to do it is just get involved with your community. Maybe it's your nextdoor.com community, because those people will definitely be local to you. So just, respond to posts and answer questions and start getting involved there.
Yeah, you're referring to the Nextdoor app, which is become very popular.
It's a social media network.
Yeah. I lost my dog. Somebody help me, kind of a thing. There's actually other things on there too, but yeah. So social media.
What's a good restaurant but it's all very local. So it's a right place I'm surprised we haven't talked about it more, but for a church to get involved, that's a great place to get involved.
It is. And again, it's interaction. That's what it's all about. And that's where people are today. And look, I know for people listening to this, if you're a leader, it sounds a little overwhelming. I got to do this, got to do that. But if you just schedule some of this stuff, and just schedule it, it's 5 minutes a day, or roughly, in my opinion. If you just schedule it and get it on a nice little routine, you don't have to spend your whole day about it. You can just begin to work on it and cross it off your list, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All
right. Number 4, you're saying take advantage of outdoor space. What do you mean by that?
Well, so it's summertime, and I forgot to look at the clock when we started here. It's summertime, and I think that for most places, you're going to have some pretty decent weather most of the time. So, there's some parks that you could do some things in. There's some spaces. Usually every community has some kind of an area where people gather. So take advantage of some of those outdoor places, especially when it's nice outside. And in Tucson, I just mentioned earlier, we hit 100 degrees yesterday. But the evenings are nice here in the desert, and everybody's got usually someplace they can go during the summer, unless you live in a different part of the world and the seasons are different. You could plan some kind of outdoor activities, and again, get your people from your members involved, reach your community with it, publicize it in your community. And it might be, I don't know, it might be something for just the kiddos, could be some kind of a event to help the food bank, some kind of event that would draw some attention and connect with your people.
I remember in California, there are local churches putting together concerts in the park.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Late afternoon, evening concerts in the park, bring the kids, spread a blanket.
Yeah.
Have the worship band play, just all kinds of things. And
yeah. So there's really it's summertime. Take advantage of people who are going to be outside walking around and doing things. So take advantage of that opportunity. You can grow your church. And look, we're not talking hundreds of people, but we're talking, as far as people showing up to your church, you might have hundreds of people to an event. But, if you pick up 2 or 3 families that might be interested in your church because you were at an event or you showed up at an event, that's progress.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, where are we
Number
at?
5.
Number 5, emphasize or encourage relationships. And then my glasses on there. Encourage relationships. So, look, the bottom line to everything that we do should always be about relationships and forming relationships. That's the whole reason. Honestly, I mean, I was on paid staff for many, many years at churches as a senior pastor or executive pastor or somebody else. And but what fueled me was the relationships that I would make at my church, and there's relationships that could go on for a long time. Even if you go to a different church, you know people, and so create opportunities for people to have relationships. Maybe have a morning coffee time, or an evening dessert time, or something that you can gather people together and connect them. And small groups are still valid even in the summer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Small groups, men's groups, youth groups, children's groups, whatever little niche within the church you can put together a similar interest. It's a good idea.
Yeah, you can do things at the church, like you just mentioned, for the kids or younger people or even older people. And you can do things outside the church too. You can combine all this stuff with the outdoor activities. So really encourage relationships. It's all about relationships. I mean, that's what we do, right? It's all about helping people connect with each other and connect with God.
All right, number 6.
Number 6, my mouth is sore. I got one of these. I haven't told you about this, but I got one of these deals that's a mouthpiece that's supposed to help me breathe better at night so I don't stop breathing, and supposed to help eliminate snoring. And I guess it's working. I've had it for a week now, but it makes my mouth kind of sore. We'll just edit this out. But I know what people feel like when they have their jaws wired shut, because you put it in there and you really can't do anything. But all right, so I'm sore, but where are we at here? So number 6, right? Personalized invitations. Personalized invitations. So why not, in the summertime here, think about some people maybe you haven't seen for a while that have come to the church, or even people that have been coming, and write them a little note. You can do it lots of different ways. You can write little notes and send a little letter. Look, snail mail. That's what snail mail is. The post office. That's what I call it. Snail mail, slow, not email, not electronic mail, snail mail. But people still like to get little things in the mail. They still do.
Yeah, exactly. I think.
Are you distracted? Or am I distracting you? All right.
No.
All right.
So I was just listening to a book now, and they're talking about how to foster relationships, and notes is a key way to do that. Is taking notes and remembering things about people that you talk to, and then send them notes at a later time.
Wow! So you're reading a book about relationships?
Kind of, yeah. I'm
shocked. Is this through your brain teaser group or whatever it is?
No, this is just I listen to podcasts every day, and over the weekend I got to the end podcasts, and I have a bunch of books that I had purchased prior to ending my agreement with Audible, because I got way behind. So I have all these. I don't know. There were like a dozen books that I had purchased that I had not listened to yet. So anyway, ran out of podcasts, said, let's queue up one of these books. And yes, one of the books I had downloaded was called How to Talk to Anyone. You like that, huh?
I think that's really good. I'm glad you're doing that. Okay. So personalized invitations. I can't read my notes here because I don't have my glasses on. So extend these invitations to people. Get people, can help get them involved. Invite them to discover certain ministries in your church. But take some time out, and you don't have to send a letter, your postcard. You could just you can send an email as long as it's personal email. Something like that. All right.
All right. Number 7, appreciation events.
All right. This one real well, right? A live church you go to, church I used to work for until they fired me.
We do this very well.
Yeah. You guys do appreciation events. What are those appreciation events that you guys do?
So they basically pull together an event for all the volunteers. So they'll go through, and we've done micro level or smaller level appreciation events where we'll take the AV team and they'll do a special thing, or maybe the worship band or the kids workers or whatever. Or we often do a whole church one where they'll put on a dinner and just have a bunch of fun stuff going on and feed you and just letting you know that the church letting all the volunteers know how much they appreciate them.
Yeah. And really, that's important to do, right? I mean, and you could even write appreciation notes to people, you could do a lot of things there, but if you don't want to have a big event for your volunteers, and depending on the size of your church, it may not be that big of an event, but if you have something set up, that'd be good. Or again, you can write little notes, and you can do little things that let people know that they are appreciated, because look, let's face it, volunteers are really the lifeblood of your church. And you can have staff people, but it's so important to have people involved.
Yes. All right. And then number 8 on our list.
Number 8. Yes.
This is kind of related to number 6, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, a little bit. Yeah. I would take it a little deeper. So number 8 is minister to the individual. Number 6 was personalized invitations, but number 8, I would say minister. That would be more of taking an active role in really helping somebody that's going through a difficult time, and maybe make the church available, let people know, hey, look, if you're going through summertime depression or whatever it might be, we're here to help. We'd love to sit down and talk with you. We'd love to be able to reach out to you. I mean, really. Again, it's all about connecting with people and being there for them, looking to see how you can serve them, and minister. I see it as more personal than just little invitations. I mean, they can lead to that, I guess, right? But I think that's important to really keep that in mind. It's so and again, go ahead.
I mean, in your notes, you're talking about Jesus was also ministered to the individuals. Thomas, who was doubting him after his resurrection, he pulls him aside separately, and so and just there's all kinds of cases of that.
Yeah, we tend to see Jesus many times, the gatherings of thousands of people followed him or whatever, but the bottom line is he was very concerned about individuals, and you see that, as you just mentioned, in Scripture. So it's again, this is a kind of a deal where it's summertime. I'm just not going to do anything. We're just going to go into maintenance mode. And well, don't go that direction. I mean, yes, take a vacation, give some other people some responsibility. So you may not be able to take a break for a little bit if you're involved in leadership. But the bottom line is people are out there, and you can grow your church in the summertime. It's possible to do that. I actually did advertising with postcards multiple summers, and I saw some growth. So there's lots of different ways. I don't have that on here, but it's all about reaching people and letting the community, letting your members know that, hey, we're here and we want to make a space for you and be available to you.
In certain ways, this is the best time, because we go through our list here about identifying your community needs and getting outdoors, and summer's very summer's ideal for that. For really putting it at their events and all these things that we talked about. Summer's probably the best time of the year for it.
Yeah, it really is. And so again, take advantage of these opportunities. You can delegate some things to some people, give them, maybe some younger members, some opportunities to take some responsibility to kind of stir the pot, so to speak, and get your church more involved in things. And you'll be surprised. You can actually reach people in the summer, and it's a good thing to do. So anyhow, that's all I've got. There's probably more things. Anybody has input, we'd love to hear from you. Support at streamingchurch.tv. And just want to mention too that this is brought to you by this Church Solutions podcast is brought to you by mychurchdaily.com. And speaking about connecting with people, mychurchdaily.com gives you the opportunity to be able to get on Amazon devices, the Echo devices, the Alexa devices. They come in all shapes and sizes. Millions of people have them now in the United States. I mean, I can actually do a flash briefing with this. This is an Alexa device. It's a Fire tablet. People can't see it here because if you're just listening to podcasts, but it's a little tablet, and I can get a news briefing, a flash news briefing from my sports teams, my weather. Well, guess what? Your church can have a flash briefing, daily flash briefing, by using mychurchdaily.com. It's just a simple little audio you can upload. We help you do it. And it's a great way to reach people every day.
All right. Sounds great.
Did I do a good job in promoting that?
Yes, it was awesome.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks. All right. So, folks, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, support@streamingchurch.tv. Subscribe to our wonderful podcast. We've been doing this for decades now. Long before they even invented radio, we were doing podcasts and being funny, but we've been doing podcasts, and we'd love it if you would subscribe. Just wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to Church Solutions Podcast, and you can never miss an episode. All right, Steve, thank you so much for your time today.
It's great being here.
And again, folks, thank you for listening or watching us. We sure appreciate it. Please take care of yourself and each other. We'll catch you next time on another episode of the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Phil Thompson.